So, okay, ek wil net gou vir die recording, net gou, okay, dis oefening 4, nee? Ons gaan gou merk 2, 3, net eers 2 en 3. Daar's hy. Julle het mos nie 1 gedoen nie, nee? Ja. Okay, right, so at 2.1, dan sê dit QR is die deursnee van die sirkel, P en T is die punte op die sirkel. Okay, you've got to prove that these two triangles are congruent. So we first got to start with in triangle RTU and triangle QPU. Jy moet eers jou driehoeke weer identifiseer, né? Dan kyk gou-gou, daar sal jy sien T en P will be the same, né? Dit is onderspan deur QR. Do you guys see that? Né? Remember, your order might be slightly different. What I did is, when I initially wrote it out, I said T is equal to P, and then my reason was angles in the semicircle. Nee? So jy kon dit ook gedoen het. Alright. Goed. And then angle U4 and angle U1 are vertically opposite angles. Nee? Hulle is regoorstaande hoeke. En dan gaan jy sien, we don't give the third angle. If you did, it's still fine, nee? But not yesterday, the day before, we said that if you have two of the angles already the same, obviously the third one, if we use angles of a triangle, will then automatically be the same. So dit is hoekom ons net tweekies van hulle gee. Nee, but if you did 3, still fine, nee? Just remember your reasons. Okay, so therefore, triangle RTU is similar to QPU, en dan jou rede is hoek, 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 nee? En onthou, in hierdie geval, omdat hulle vir jou gevra het om dit te bewys, it will count 3, maybe 4 marks, nee? Maar hulle gaan vir jou punte gee vir daai 2 hoeke wat jy geïdentifiseer het, met hulle redes. And then the third mark would definitely be for that angle, angle, angle. Jy moet jou rede gaan gee, nee? Okay. Yes.
Some mensen ook kan sê Q1 is R2 omdat hoekomers van deurselfs is gemis.
Yes. Okay, maar sê net, Q1 is gelyk aan R2, hoeke onderspan deur PT, boog PT. Okay.
Ek het ook
Q1, okay. Wat was jou rede? Yes. Okay. Maar noem hom, nee? PT. Goed, kom ons kyk gou 2.2.1. Now they're saying I must prove that RVU, triangle RVU, is similar to triangle RPQ. Okay, goed, so. Eerstens, hoek R is mos gemeen, nee? That's part of both triangles. Okay, so that was the nice and easy one. Then, second, I said angle P, that one was 90 degrees because it was angles in a semicircle, nee? En dit gaan ook dieselfde wees as the angle given, that UVR, nee? Maar hy was mos vir my gegee. So, daai tweekies is dieselfde. The third angle, I didn't have to mention or write anything about. I can then automatically assume that these two triangles are similar, and my reason would be angle, angle, angle. Okay. Any questions? Goed. Kan ek maar skip? Anyone still copying? Okay. Okay. Goed, by 2.2.2 sê hulle vir my, ek moet bewys dat RV op RP is gelyk aan VU op PQ. Now, initially I wrote out all 3 of them, nee? Because from congruency, kan ek gou vinnig terugskiep, nee? You could see, dat ek kan nou weer nie daar nie, kan julle my dingetjie sien, nee? RV over RP will be the same as VU over PQ, en ook dieselfde as RI op RQ. Nee, so ek het aanvanklik eers al 3 geskryf, and then after that, I said that these will be equal from congruency. Maar jy sou kon direk, soos die memo hier, direk so toegeskiep het. Okay, But remember, you've got to give that reason saying that you got this from congruency. Okay. Goed, dan ag, excuse het, ek dacht, sorry. Not congruency, similarity. Dankie. Excuse. 2.2.3 sê hulle vir my, dit was lekker enetjie. And this was a level 4 question. Right? Okay. So they say that I've got to prove that QR squared is equal to RP squared. En onthou wat ek gister vir julle gesê het, né? Don't start with that. Go look for different pieces so that I would eventually end with that as an answer. Okay, so ek gaan gou hierso toemaak, né? Kyk gou. Okay. If you were to go from 2.2.2, né? And I cross multiply, right? Dan sou jy eers gehad dat RP mal VI is gelyk aan RV mal PQ, né? And then I try and get PQ alone. So basically I had to take that RV over and say divided by RV. So almal buite daar. Okay, now all I'm doing is I'm squaring each and every one of those. Want as jy gaan kyk na waar hulle wil hê ek moet eindig mee, né? Dis als met kwadrate, né? And I could just literally go and add a square at each one of these because it was multiplication. Né? So dit het nie 'n verskil gemaak nie. Okay? Goed. Nou, as jy gou gaan kyk Pythagoras, if you look at that triangle, QR squared, that hypotenuse, will be equal to RP squared plus PQ squared. Né? Dis gewone Pythagoras. En wat ek nou gaan doen, is hierdie PQ kwadraat. Ek gaan daai hele ding gaan skryf in die plek van PQ kwadraat. Is julle by? Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm substituting this fraction into this equation where I had PQ squared. So then it would look like that. Is julle by? You're not seeing it. Ek sien jou ja. Okay. Were you fine up until here? Is that? This one, where you square it. Okay, so when I initially wrote it out, I did it slightly different. Ek het gaan sê, I first squared it while it was still in that single fraction form. Want dan voel dit vir my beter. So I had it like this. RV over RP is equal to VU over PQ. You will find it out. No. Okay. And then I saw, okay, everything was squared. So all I did is I squared each of them in here. Ja. Yes. En toe van hier af, toe ek hom gaan maak. So then I first multiplied and said RV squared times PQ squared is equal to RP squared times VU squared. En toe sien ek in my vergelyking, I saw in my equation, this one. I know I've got that, and I've got that, so I knew I had to get PQ squared alone. Wat het nou gebeur? Het jy geskrik vir die juffrou? Ja, mama, goed job. Sy het nog van hulp gedaan.
She was using that as an answer then.
Ja, dis waar. Ek rook soms saam met as challenge. Very good. So I saw that I had to go, ek recorded Okay. PQ squared is what I needed. No? Because that was the only thing that was different. So then, that's how I knew I wanted to get this one alone. So PQ squared will be RP squared times VU squared. And then I took this one over, so divided by RD squared. Does that make more sense? Nog steeds die aangeneem.
Ma'am, why didn't you write it from 2.2 as squared?
From 2.2 as squared. Yeah, I did it.
But they
The memo it doesn't, but when I did it on my own, I first did that and then got this, which is also not on the memo, and then from there got to that. So it is fine if you want to write more steps, it's not wrong, right? As long as you get to the same answer. Remember, we've got to mark with your method. So if you wanted to use this one instead of that, it's actually the same thing. Ergens is nog steeds iets wat nie klik nie. Oh, nee, but at 2.2.2, they specifically asked me to prove that that is true. That was like normal from normal similarity.
Then, ma'am, out of the blue, you just squared.
Okay, I squared it because look at what the question is. They said, I've got to prove that QR squared. This is what they gave me, that last part. Right? They said, I've got to prove this. So if you look at what you're supposed to prove, I've got to work with whatever I've got towards ending.
So that's where the squaring comes.
So because these were all in terms of square, then I knew, okay, I also have to square my stuff to be able to end with something like that. Okay. Yes, daar was nou nog iemand? Is julle ook reg? Julle is alweer met die fone, pere. Okay. Dan 2.3. 2.3, they're asking, en ek gaan nou nog gou weer daaroor praat, is that a cyclic quad? Nee? And I'll say it now, but I'm going to repeat it again later on as well. Wie kan gou vir my sê, there are 3 methods to prove that it is a cyclic quad, or to prove that. Iemand poeps. Daar sê ja. To prove that it's a cyclic quad. Daar sê teenoorstaande hoeke is wat? Supplementêr, yes. Wat nog? Dink aan wat weet jy als van 'n koorde vierhoek? Yes, buitehoek gelyk aan teenoorstaande binnehoek. Okay, nou die laaste enetjie. Julle weet nou wat ek bedoel, né? Ja, ching ching. Kom, dink gou mooi. Nee. Dis gelyke hoeke onderspan deur yes, by that same chord. Right? So those are the 3 methods that we use to prove that something is a cyclic quad. Okay, or that specific quadrilateral is a cyclic quad. Okay, but you don't have to write it down now. I've got it on one of the slides a little later on. Okay, so nou vra hulle vir my bewys dat hy dan nou 'n koorde vierhoek is. So as jy gaan kyk na hom, we said angle P was 90. Nee? Ek gaan gou vir jou teruggaan na die sketsie toe. Ons het hom ons sê. Okay, so hulle vra oor PQVA. Daai nou. Nee? Okay, now we know that angle P was 90. We said that was angles in the same segment. Now, hierdie een is ook 90. So then obviously the one right next to that will also be 90. En dan omdat hy en sy teenoorstaande hoek P albei 90 is, it means that together they do add up to 180, so they're supplementary. Nee. Goed. Kom ek skiep gou weer vir jou. Daar sê ek vir jou, P is 90, we prove that, and that will be equal to UVR. So therefore PQVU, so jy kon of daai binneste hoekie of jy kon die buitehoek gelyk aan die teenoorstaande. Nee? Same thing. So PQVU is a cyclic quad because the exterior angle is equal to the opposite interior angle. Or if you had that extra step in between where you said that that angle next to it is 90, then you could have said that the two opposite angles are supplementary. Okay, jy kon enige een van daai twee. The only one that we could not use was that third one, being subtended by the same chord, want ons het nie daai extra streepies gehad nie. Okay, right, dan die volgende enetjie, nommer 3. Net 2 en 3. Okay, dan 3.1. O is die middelpunt van die sirkel en OT is 8 eenhede. Bepaal met redes vir PR of PT. Okay, now first things first, PO and OQ are radii. Nee, hulle is radiusse. So hulle afstande is dieselfde. Ek gaan kyk of ek dit kan doen. Met ander woorde, hulle lyk so, dis die verste wat ek kan gaan met hom. Okay, en dan OT is parallel aan RQ. Dis mos my gegee. Nee. So therefore, remember way back I made you write down that midpoint theorem? Nee? So as jy nou mooi gaan dink middelpuntstelling, dan beteken dit dat PT en nee. Gaan ek met die muis moet doen. Well, that one will be the same as that one. Nee, as gevolg van middelpuntstelling. So, PR means I use both those sides. So 2 over PT is mos net een van hulle. Ek het nie afstande nie, but I know that PR is double what PT is. En dis kom ek sê 2 op 1. Is julle reg daar? Goed. Wat's wat? Dan die lengte van RQ. Okay, so I want the length of RQ. Now, because it was midpoint theorem, dan het ons gesê dat hierdie parallelle sytjie se afstand is die helfte van die ondersteunetjie se afstand. Nee. So RQ will be 2 times TO because of the midpoint theorem. So therefore it would be 16. Goed, kan ek skip? No one? What? Terwyl ons nou wag vir hulle om klaar te skryf, nee. Ek het mos gesê ek gaan vir jou 3 sommetjies bygee. So ek gee net sommer so lank, nee. Jy gaan vir my by nommer 1. You're going to do 1.1, 2 and 3. Just those 3. En is lekker straightforward maklik. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Soos by dieselfde oefening, ja. Still at exercise 4. Just adding those 3. En dan gaan ons môre mos nou vir 4.1 en 4.2 klaarmerk. Ek wil probeer, because I assume you guys struggled with those two. Ag, ekskuus, wat het ek nou gesê? Nee, sorry. 4.1, 5.1. Did you guys struggle with those two? Ja, so aangeneem. Kan ek skip? Almost done? You sure? Okay. Good. Then 3.3, the radius PR is 30. Okay, now as PR 30 is, nee, dan is dit so eintlik as jy gaan kyk na die groot driehoek, nee, it's a 90 degrees angle. Kyk gou-gou, can I skip back to that one? R will be 90 degrees because it's angles in a semicircle. Nee. Okay, en nou as ek gaan kyk na daai groot driehoek, omdat ek 'n 90 grade hoek het, kan ek mos Pythagoras gaan gebruik. Nee, I've got the length of that side, I've got the length of RQ, so nou kan ek PQ gaan uitwerk, en dan die helfte van hom gaan ons my radius gee. Nee, okay, so R is 90, angles in a semicircle, then according to Pythagoras, I can work out PQ, and that would be 34, and then half of that will be my radius, which is 17 units. Okay, dan 3.4. Die oppervlak van PTO tot die oppervlak van driehoek PRQ. Goed, nou hier kan ek gaan sê half maal 15 maal 17 maal sin P, en by driehoek PRQ gaan ek sê half maal 30 maal 34 maal sin P. Please remember that when you use this, I want to work from the same angle. You'll see both of them is from sine P. Nee? Because die hele doel van hierdie is sodat jy mos nou kon gaan uitkanselleer. Nee? Goed, so jy moet ontslaa raak van daai sin. And that simplified is going to give you 1/4. Okay. Any questions? Right. Die periodes is net 30 minute, so ek gaan daar stop, dat ons gaan vinnig kan take doen. Jy het jou huiswerk, nee? Net daai eerste driekies, en dan gaan krap asseblief my by 4.1 en 4.1 en 5.1, nee? What I initially did at question 4.1, I made one of my angles X. Nee? Sê weer? Het jy? Want dan kan mens dit makliker sien. So dan gaan skryf jy in en dan kan jy baie makliker sien wat hulle is. Okay, so just a little hint there.